What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be playing around with a title called Diviner. I've been playing around with the game this morning and getting a feel for it, and this is definitely one of those odd titles that comes along every now and again in the world of indie games that's kind of difficult to describe to people. This is a strange one. And so this is a game where you are a post-apocalyptic knight, presumably the last person alive inside this realm, and your soul is inexorably tied to the quality of your blade. Should it rust or should it fail, so too will your soul. There are two halves to this game. The first half is a Kingsfield-style dungeon crawler, where you're just walking around in first-person format like we are right now. The second half of it is what you're seeing right here, where we're going to be fighting this guy, and the game goes into a full-on turn-based mode. So today we're going to take a look at the game for about 30 minutes. We're going to see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list, or if it's one of those games that you would rather not play. Doesn't seem like it's for you. That's also perfectly fine as well. I've got a link to the game for you down below just in case you wanted to wish list it, and then of course on top of that you'll find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream just in case you wanted to hang out live. But let's dive right on into this thing and get a rough idea about what it's all about. Can I get behind this guy right here? If I can get behind him, I get big bonuses for being behind him. I like being behind him. Being behind him after I mark him up is a really, really good idea. So this is the combat of Diviner. In a lot of ways, it reminds me of a really old game called Hybrid Heaven. I'm not going to get into the full breadth of what Hybrid Heaven was, but the combat system is similar. You have a weapon. That weapon has runes on it. Those runes give you attacks that cost differentiating amounts of AP, and they also do different things. And so there's almost like a deck building or a rune building mechanic to the game, where you're trying to stack up as many things on your weapon that have as many synergies as possible, so that you can make it out the other end having smoked the enemies, getting loot, and being capable of upgrading your stuff so that you don't have to repair it quite so frequently. Our HP is listed right here. Our guard is listed right here. The enemy has the same thing. When your guard is broken, you lose poise. When your poise goes down to 0, you lose an entire turn. For right now, there's not too much left that we can do on this turn, so I'm just going to go ahead and end it. He's going to hit me with Iron Lunge right there. The good news is our guard is way, way stronger than these early game enemies, so their chances of getting through it are pretty slim. I'm going to hit him with a Head Bludgeon right there. That's going to mark him so that my next attack does double damage. We're going to step around behind him, and then we're going to cleave him for double damage from behind. Bam! And there it is. The enemy goes down, hopefully bequeathing us with all kinds of sick loot. Let's go ahead and, oops, I hit the wrong key. Let's go ahead and search this guy right here. He's got a couple of tithes on him. I'm guessing that these go to shops or something like that from what I've played so far. He's also got a grease rune. The grease rune allows me to restore my guard, and it also gives me a buff called Greased, which increases the amount of AP that I get on my next turn. We can apply that to our weapon by going to the inventory over here. You can see the spurned blade on that side, and if we go to the engrave menu, we can actually customize these weapons as we see fit. So I can put that ability in right there. Doesn't cost me anything to do it. On top of that, this game also has a conflict of interest that exists inside of it, where every single enemy in the game will drop some kind of essence that allows you to repair your weapon and get its durability back up, but those same essences that you pick up are required in order to upgrade the baseline stats of your weapon so that it performs on equal parity with all of the enemies that you're going to go up against as the RPG gets harder and harder. And so you've always got this conflict of trying to decide when you want to use these for repairs versus when you want to use them to upgrade the weapon itself. So if I wanted to, I could increase the health of my weapon by 2 by using the chains that we picked up a little bit earlier. From there, I'll probably use this guy to fix my weapon, and then I'll probably use this to increase my max guard and my max damage, and I'll use that to increase my minimum damage and my minimum guard so that we have those stats all moving onwards and upwards. My sword is now level 4. Let's head on into the next room and see what trouble we can get ourselves into. So this enemy is not aware of us. That means we can open up in combat no problem, just the way that we want to do it. Let's hit him with a cleave because we're already in behind him, so we're already getting the bonus of cleaving, but I think cleaving only gives you the bonus if their armor is already shattered. I've been watching and paying attention as I'm playing the game, and it seems like you don't get the double damage if their guard is still up. Why they still have guard available when you're hitting them from behind, I don't really know, but I guess they're just sort of crazy Neo-style blocking behind their head and stuff like that. This right here is drawing from the enemy. Some people are going to love this, and some people are going to hate this. This is one of those Final Fantasy VIII things. So enemies will have a certain type of essence on them. This guy has this essence, the chains, that increase the durability of our weapon. We can spend our AP instead of attacking to draw from this guy, and it will add that item to the loot pool at the end of the fight so that we can fix our weapon or so that we can get more upgrades. Once again, another layer of conflict that I think works reasonably well. We broke his guard, so that's great for us right there. Let's go ahead and end our turn, and we'll let him hit us back. Looks like he's trying to circle around behind us. Iron lunge to the booty cheeks, sword coming out of my chest, feels terrible. Camera work in this game needs a lot of work. This is one of those demos that I sat around for about 30 minutes before I decided to record a video, really wrestling with myself, being like, is this of a quality level that justifies coverage? And the reason why I say that is because, is his guard down? His guard is down. Okay, so let's go back into movement mode. We'll get around behind him. My next attack does double damage, but I kind of want to draw from as well a little bit while we've still got a chance. We've still got a lot of guard, too, so I feel okay, like, I guess leveraging a couple turns to try to get more loot, but we'll probably want to finish him off sooner rather than later. Let's try to draw one more time. We did get the draw right there. Let's get really risky. We did manage to draw right there as well, but we don't have any AP left. Let's go ahead and let him wail on us for a second. He really likes to be in behind us, but he can't get in behind us because of the wall. But as I was saying, I was on the fence about featuring this because this build is very wonky and it's very, very janky, but at the same time, I do think they're onto something here. The combat feels good, it feels heavy, it feels visceral. The stop motion that they've chosen for the graphical representation of the game fits and makes it a lot more off-putting. Oh, look at all of our upgrades. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We also get other weapons because this game has a combo system, but we'll talk about that in just a second. I've had problems with buggy menus. I have had problems with the camera being embedded inside the wall during fights so that I don't get to see the fanfare and the throwdown as I'm throwing my abilities at the enemy. But it's in demo form right now, and hopefully they'll get that all squared away and get the game polished and feeling pretty good. Let's go to our sword right here, and I would like to increase the durability of my sword maybe twice so that it has more durability, and then we'll put it back up to full. We'll hold on to that guy right there. I need to drop out of the engraver and go back to my equipment menu. We've got a mace right here. This mace specializes in making the enemy super miserable. We've also got an ability called Blight. All right, so we can throw that on there, I think. Oh, we got to go to the engraver for that. There we go. We'll put Blight on there so that we have an infectious attack that makes the enemy tick from poison. We also have an ability that restores an enormous amount of our guard. It looks like we've got Weaken, which looks like it reduces the enemy's poise by 2 to 4, which is really incredible. We also got another ring. This ring right here, it goes back into your equipment. These rings don't just give you stat bonuses, but they do show up on your character's fingers, which I really like. It was one of those little details I didn't notice on the first pass, but I do like how your character puts on little rings as you put on more rings. These right here are catalysts. They call them switches, and they call them that for a reason. These rings, you have to invoke them in order to swap weapons, and when you invoke them, they give the weapon the attribute bonus while you're wielding it that is listed on the switch. And so if I was to switch to my mace using this one right here, my mace would have 40% more damage. If I was to use this one right here to swap over to my mace, any guard ability that I use would get 40% bonus from what I can tell there. And so the game gets more and more intricate as you get further in, and it starts to become this dance between you and the enemy, swapping weapons and figuring out what it is that you want to do next. We do have a big bad guy over there. He's glowing all purple, and if there's one thing I know about RPGs, it's that when the enemy glows purple, that's never a good thing for you. But do we want to leave him behind us on our flank? I guess we can give him a go. Let's see if we can handle this guy. All right, so he's all up in our dome piece right now. We're going to need him to center off in the middle of the room, I think, before this is going to work. Let's hit him in the face. He's now marked so that we're dealing double damage. And then I'm going to step back because I feel like in this hallway the camera is going to get wonky on me. And then we'll just kind of see what he does. So he walked up on us, and he's going to infect us. So we've taken 8 blight damage right there. And then he's also struck us for 9. Let's have a look at his abilities. The text in this game is entirely too small for all of the tooltips and for pretty much everything. The text is tiny. They're definitely going to want to have to sort that out. Let's grease our weapon to get some guard back. That was a really good guard grab. I'll take that. He's still marked. I don't know if I can get around behind him. Ooh, big ol' hit right there, reducing his poise as well. That's what I like to see. We'll probably try to get around the side of him so that we can start draining his poise, because this guy is really good at restoring his own armor, to the fact that I haven't quite figured out how to get around this guy just yet. He's just better than I am. My weapons always break before I can finish him off. Let's head bludgeon him. Head bludgeon looks good. He's now marked, so we get a little bit more damage on our next attack. I don't know if I want to swap to my mace or not. Let's get a 40% damage boost and swap over to the mace. If we hit him from the side with this, it looks like it lowers his poise by 2 to 4. I get a feeling that a lot of our attacks here... Let's get him with the weaken. Okay, that looks good. Get him with the weaken again. I'm going to try to stun lock him here, because whenever... he's stun locked, he's not stacking huge amounts of poison on me that I can't really tank. We'll end our turn. And then we need to swap weapons back again. Let's go back over to our sword. I think we want to cleave right here for like a big turn. Yeah, 7 damage right there. Okay, good stuff. All right, I wasn't... They expect you to stun lock this guy. Perfect. I haven't been able to get past that guy. I fiddled around with him when I was playing through the demo the first time, and I had a hell of a time taking that guy out. We've got a glue flask. This allows me to fix my weapons. We've got a new ability called Limb Crush. If you hit the enemy from the back, they get 1 to 2 shatter. One thing they will want to add is a little box underneath this box that tells you exactly what shatter does when you're moused over it. I probably should have farmed off of that guy a little bit because he was dropping essences. But I was kind of caught up in the moment just trying to survive. Let's go to engraving and what's broken here. My sword's looking a little rough. Do I use this in combat? Is that how that works? There we go. Did that fix my weapon up? Is it all fixed up now? It is. It is. Good stuff. With this ability right here from the back, we get 1 to 2 shatter. I'm guessing that breaks people's armor a little bit more effectively, or it breaks their guard a bit more effectively. Let's put that on the sword for right now and see how that goes for us. Swap out of combat mode, and we got a switch right here. Opened up a door for us somewhere. Hopefully a useful door. Hopefully a door that's got a whole bunch of treasure or some kind of goodies on the other side of it. Where does that go? I'm about to get ambushed. Oh, nice, dude. Weapon parts. Hell yeah. Okay. I don't know what the tab key does, but when I hit it, a little box comes up on screen like it's some kind of developer mode or something like that. Like I said, very janky and very wonky. Let's get the sword. I can also upgrade this guy, but let's stick to the sword for right now. I'd like to have my eggs in one basket. The mace doesn't really have that great of damage anyways. It's just for bonking the enemy until they're stunned and just repeatedly stun locking them. And then once they're stun locked, I feel like I'll have a 1-2 punch where I can open up on them with the claymore after I have them stunned. Let's increase our minimum damage. Let's increase our maximum damage. That also sounds good. I don't know what passive affix does. Oh, I think what it does is it boosts up the passive of the weapon as listed right here when you mouse over the top of this. So our passive went from 5% up to 10%. If I take these off, do they have the attributes of these things listed anywhere? Because it says iron abilities deal more damage. I'm assuming that it's that little hammer right there that's listed on all these abilities, but I don't honestly know. A list of all the things that embody these runes, though, would be a really good idea. Walking out the front door, checking for bad guys around here. Looks like we're okay. Like I said, very influenced by Dark Souls in terms of like the aesthetic that it's trying to pitch to the player. I guess we'll just go up the stairs and kind of see what they got waiting for us over here. Oh, that guy's got a big spear. Is he going to be friendly, or is he going to try to murder me? So far, everything tries to murder me. This guy's facing the other way. Yeah, I think he's a bad guy. I think he wants to hurt me. That's the vibe that I'm getting from this right now. It looks like I can draw from him in order to get the minimum damage things. Let's wait till later and see how this fight goes, though, before I play around that. Let's hit him with a Limb Crush. What does Shatter do for me? This unit takes 10% more damage for each stack of Shatter. 50% max damage increase. Okay, yeah, let's get him with a bunch of Shatters then. Why not? We'll just shatter him up nice and early. How long do these last for? It doesn't really have a duration on it. We've almost got his armor taken care of. Let's swap weapons over to the mace for the next turn. And we'll see what he decides to do. I've only got to get around beside him, so he's going to go and get his guard back, and then he's going to stab me with Blight. Okay. Wasn't exactly what I wanted to deal with, but we are alongside him right now. So let's see if we can get the stun lock off here, because I think he's going to be getting his guard back too fast for me to really do a whole lot. Get him with the weaken. Good stuff. Get him with the weaken. Oof, I'm getting bad poise rolls right now. That's real unfortunate. There we go. Now we've got him stunned. His poise is completely and totally gone. Let's bypass a turn. And now that he is stuck where he's at, let's swap back over to the stunned blade, or the spurned blade. I'm going to get a little risky here, and I'm going to draw from him rather than going for the kill. I think I have enough to head bludgeon him, and then also get him with a cleave, I think. Head bludgeon him with the pommel. There you go. He's now marked. Guard completely and totally broken. Oh, no, I don't have enough. Unfortunate. Okay, well, what he's going to do is he's going to restore all of his armor on the next turn, and there's not going to really be a whole lot that I can do about that. So let's prep him up for another stun lock, I guess. Oh, no, he stabbed me. I was going to say, dude, there's no way that he doesn't just restore his entire meter every time we go in here. Let me restore my guard. Start lowering that poise again. I'm not sure we're getting the double damage boost from that right there. I'm not convinced. We also need to fix this weapon. There we go. Let's get its durability back up and end our turn. That's fine. I can live with that. I think I can fix this. I think. I don't know that I can fix this, but I think I can fix it. Let's swap weapons to here. Grease my armaments so that I get my guard back. Maybe from the side we do like a limb crush, possibly. Oh, it's got to be from the back. Okay. Good hit. Doesn't matter because he's just going to restore it off, but what are you going to do? Oh, that was his turn. Okay. I think I'm cool with that. Let's get around behind him. We'll go with a limb crush. There goes another poise. So we're looking good on the poise front. Swap weapons over to the head bludgeoner. And then from the side, we're going to weaken him twice in the hopes that we fish out a stun right here. And we did fish out a stun. Good stuff. In the turn, we're going to switch weapons back over to here. We're going to get in behind him. Cleave. Good hit. Very nice. That leaves me with enough to draw, so let's steal his tether real fast. And then finish it. Down he goes. Hopefully drop something useful. What you got on you, buddy? Oh, he's got a whole bunch of goodies. Earthen Blow. Deal 100% damage from front, gain 1 to 2 regeneration. I don't feel that excited about that. Everybody's hitting for like values of 14 or so. So that doesn't really excite me altogether that much. What I do need to do, though, is I need to fix these weapons. These weapons are womped right now, dude. They're looking terrible. Just absolutely awful. Give me the minimum damage. This weapon cannot be upgraded any further. Okay. I don't know what extraction does. It looks like extraction pulls out like all the parts that I've put in so far. I think I can live with that. That's fine. Let's go and add some durability to both of these. The mace is looking okay. We could pop. What's the passive affix on this? Every time you gain guard, gain 20% as max guard, capped to 2. Sure, throw that in there. What's the worst that it could hurt? I bet it'll be fine. I've still got 2 of these bad boys left, too, that I can use. I don't know if I want to put them in just yet, though. I'm conflicted. What's down this way? It's kind of foggy. I'm, like, absolutely sure that YouTube's compression is going to murder the hell out of this video and make it look terrible. We got another one of the purpley warplet. What is this thing, dude? When in the tithe shop, right-click to sell your resources for tithes. Okay. So we've got a shop here, and everything in here indicates its cost in the bottom left-hand corner for these tithes that we've been picking up off the enemies. I got 2 bottles of glue, and then I also bought a pistol, but I can't really afford anything else. I could buy another bottle of glue if I really wanted to. We'll leave it alone for right now, and it also looks like we can stash up our items since we have limited inventory space, and it looks like they give us lots of tabs right there. I'm interested in playing around with this pistol. What's up with this pistola? Yeah, put the Quete in there, dude. Alright, it doesn't have any abilities, but having a ranged attack so that I don't have to waste my AP, like running up on the enemy, sounds great. Just get like some starter damage off on them before they get to me, because I've been wasting my first turn closing the gap, and I've noticed that no matter how much I seem to back up, they always get to attack me a couple times anyways, so you can't really like bait them into other positions or whatever either, or like ruin their turn by falling backwards. World design's looking pretty good here. I'm a big fan of this aesthetic, though. I think the Dark Souls series probably has the most inaccessible, but also some of the best world building I've ever seen in a video game. If you can just... Oh my god, look at that big bastard. Definitely don't want to fight him. I'm not excited. Look at the size of him, dude. He's like 400 feet tall. Maybe we go beat up some smaller enemies first and see where we come out, because we did have that other way we could go back here. I would like to see the walk animation. It's a little floaty right here. While your character's walking, there should be sort of like a bobbing of the hands and like a bobbing of the sword as he moves. But it appears as though we're just like flatly sliding over the top of the surface. I'm not going to go so far as to advocate for head bob. All right, but I will say, ooh, treasure, nice. Ooh, iron forged chainmail, a cruel armor forged around the body from the scrap harvested outside of Esfet. Its only compensation for the enduring heat inside is a formidable defense against lesser beasts. 35 health, 45 base guard, and then 10 base stamina. At the end of your turn, gain grease equal to your remaining stamina up to 4. That's not bad. That's not terrible. We also got another glue flask, and we've got a bunch of abilities over here that I need to filter through and figure out how good they are. Ooh, we got an oil ability that can go on our pistol. Nice, dude. Okay. So how is this armor right here? Base guard 45. So we have lower health, we have higher guard, and we have lower stamina. But, oh, your armor changes on your character's hands. Very nice. I did not expect that for a second from a single-man project game. We definitely want that on there. Anything, so this guy builds up oil, and then the oil detonates for damage. And so we want this to be on here. So it's a frontal attack that deals 100% damage and applies oil. It's also very cheap. This one right here deals 150 damage, 150% damage from the back and reduces the enemy's max guard. That's nice. I like it. Deal 1 damage for every stack of blight on the enemy, so that's obviously thinking about the poisoned blade right there. And then deal 150% damage from the front, gain 2 to 5 regeneration. Okay. Seems like it's just like a better version of Earthen Blow to me. It deals more damage, and we get more regeneration off of it. It costs more, though, right? Yeah, it costs 6. So this little guy right here, we could fire multiple times, just to give us more tactical diversity, I suppose. Alright, I'm cool with it. Can I shoot him from back here with my gun? Like, if I wanted to shoot him from back here with the gun, how hard is it to shoot him with the gun? They're going to want to change the gun right there. It blocks too much of the field of view. Instead, have the gun up and to the side, pointing at the sky with 2 hands off of it, so that it's over on this right-hand side over here running upwards instead of blocking the entire field of play. What about is the range on this thing? Can't get him from right there, but I can get him from right here. Okay, everything I have here goes from the front. What does this guy do from the back? Do I have anything from the back? I think the only thing I have from the back is going to be my sword over here. So I guess I'll go for that. Let's give him the old cleavage. Actually, we'll give him shatter. Let's open up on this dude real fast. Interestingly enough, I think my turn froze right there. I couldn't take any actions aside from building up my own guard. Okay. We'll figure it out. It'll be alright. It looks like it fixed itself. Or maybe there's just some mechanic that I was not aware of. Let's see if we can lower his poise down a little bit. We have a lot of AP right now, dude. We have so much AP. I didn't realize how wild and crazy our AP had gotten. Yeah, just keep whittling away his poise. There you go. That's the good stuff. Let's swap over to this right here. If I step around behind him, I can get him with a cleave from behind. Guard is broken, and he loses his turn. Good stuff. I'm going to draw from him twice because I want more loot, and I want to be able to fix my weapons. I'm terrified that my weapons are going to break on me while I'm out here. Okay, so we've got that covered. Let's get him with a couple of cleaves from the back. Good. HP looking nice and squishy right now. Let him do what he's going to do. He's going to infect me. That's 12 to my guard. Could be better. And then he's going to fix his guard. Acceptable. We have 21 AP right now. I'm going to go ahead and grease my armaments real fast to get some... Well, I didn't get as much guard as I wanted to get. Let's switch over to the mace. Step around to the side of him, and we're just going to keep going with that stun lock strategy. That seems to be the one that's working the best for us, is just keep working on his poise aggressively. We did not get the maximum roll on poise right there, which is a little bit of a bummer. I would have liked to have gotten that, but that's life. We have reduced his maximum guard down by a lot, though. He's got a lot of shatter stacks on us right now, though, that we're going to have to think about as we go forward. Go ahead and weaken him. When we get the stun lock, let's draw from him. Another fragment right there. We're going to swap weapons over to the sword. Let's get behind him, I guess. And we'll go for like a double cleave right here. Very nice cleave. And that sets us up for a pretty good kill on the next turn. Good stuff. I like it. I think the game is great. The real problem here is just that the camera's wonky and the game has a lot of bugs and has a lot of jank to it. All of the problems that I've seen with this game thus far are all technically related, and some of them require you to actually exit the game and reopen it back on up to get the game working again. But the combat system, very creative, very unique. I like what they're playing around with a lot here. There's a lot of agency, there's a lot of choice, there's a lot of decision making, there's a lot of gambits that you have to rely on, like when do I draw from the enemy in order to get parts to fix my weapons up versus when do I all out DPS. It seems to be coming together. I like this a lot. It's drawing from a lot of different wells and a lot of different ideas, but it's working. It's working really, really well for me because Hybrid Heaven is one of my favorite games of all time, and this game is not that far off of Hybrid Heaven, an old N64 game that was playing around with some of these ideas here in like walking around real time and then dueling the enemy 1v1 over and over again. The enemies also seem to have little strategies and stuff that you have to learn in order to get through the fight. That's not good. Can I engrave from inside of here? Because I got to fix my stuff, dude. My stuff is broked. Oh no, I can't do it from inside of here. Okay, so we're going to have to close this off, and we're going to have to use our glues to repair. Bummer. All right, well, fix my sword at the bare minimum. But this is Diviner. My advice is polish, 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 polish. You've got to get these bugs taken care of. You've got to get the camera functioning a little bit better inside of tight corridors so that the player always has a full field of view for the fights. But I will encourage you by saying that the gameplay mechanics that you have here are unique, and they will stand out and shine compared to a lot of the other derivative, boring RPGs that are coming out. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were fooling around with Diviner. Tomorrow, we'll be fooling around with something else. Thanks for hanging out with me, and that's about all I got for you. Bye, folks.